I think we're recording. Hey, hey. All right, welcome everyone. As the link in the chat group explained, this is going to be a training on Text 5 to change lives. If y'all remember back last Sunday when I did the training, I did it on the 8-step pattern that I feel that is a duplicatable pattern of activity to win in this network marketing space or home-based business space. And I'm gonna just go over the quick 8 steps real fast. Remember, the first one was define your dream, make some commitments, write your list, and not so much write your list, but utilize your list. In the old days, it was you actually got out a notebook or whatever, and you numbered it from 1 to 100. You start listing all the people that you knew, and then you would segment that list. And I know everybody. These are all the people that I know from church, the people I know from my family and friends, the people I know from here, and these are the ones who are professionals, blue-collar workers. You just segment it to different segments that you can utilize in your approach. But today, with technology, we don't need to write a list or segment a list. All you need is one of these, right? The old phone. You go to the contact list, and there's tons of people there. Social media, we got those lists. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We got lists everywhere. So instead of writing a list of the people that we know are going to contact, what we're going to keep track of is our results of the contact. So that's what number 3 is. Number 4 is contact and invite. And that's where we're going to kind of branch off today. Number 5 was share your product or your plan. Follow up with your new prospect or customer. Check your progress, and then teach and rotate the pattern. So it's 8 steps. So step number 4 for contacting and inviting, I learned something years ago which I implemented and I use every day. Something called Text 5 to change lives. If you want to write that down, Text 5 to change lives. And it's a very, very simple concept, and it revolves around the fact that practically everybody you know has one of these in their hands almost 24/7. The sad reality of it is we wake up in the morning, we're looking at our phone. We're doing our daily activities, we got our phone. We eating lunch, we got our phone. Afternoons, we have our phones. The evenings, we have our phones. Phones are in the eyeballs of practically every human being on the face of the planet. So it makes it a little bit easier to get your message in front of those people. So when I say Text 5 to change lives, the whole concept and the idea of that is to part of the commitment of building our business, no matter what company it is, no matter what we're doing, what we're growing, we have to get the message in front of people daily. And my early training in this industry was this: he or she who shares their program the most wins. It's a numbers game. The more we can get our concept and our idea in front of people, the more lives we can save, the more impact we can make. So it's all about getting in front of as many people as we can on a daily basis. So when I say Text 5, it doesn't have to be, it can be 5 throughout the whole day. You can set your parameters. Depends on how much you want to work, how much you want to engage, how much activity you want to. You can say Text 5 every hour. You can say Text 5 every 4 hours. But at least 5 people a day, make that commitment. You'll be amazed at the results you'll have at the end of a 30-day month. So 5 people a day, we need to send a message to. If they're in your phone, you probably got their phone number, right? So it's real easy to send them a text message. If you're on social media, it's real easy to send them a Facebook message. But I highly recommend you stick to text messaging, because what works best for me might not be what works best for you guys and gals. So use this as a guide of engagement, not as law. Okay? So just use it as something to enhance what we're already doing, and not as the end all, the cure all. And what I mean by that is, what works really cool for me, you may need to adjust it a little bit on your end to fit your personality type and your level of engagement that you want to pursue. So texting 5 each day, and what you're going to text them is something really, really simple. And this is a great point to write down. Hey, do you have a few quick minutes to talk? This is what I text to people. Hey, do you have a few quick minutes to talk? I don't want to keep messaging them. I want to actually get them on the phone and have a conversation with them. Hey, do you have a few quick minutes to talk? And what's going to happen is you're going to find that some people are going to ignore the text. It's just going to happen. Human nature. I mean, have you guys and gals ever got a text message that you looked at and didn't really respond to it? I mean, we do that. We got busy lives. We may intend to message them back or answer them, but life kind of gets in the way. We get, things happen, and it just kind of it's not top of our mind. So we're not. We don't always get back with people, and people are not always going to get back with us. So that's why you got to do more than just one. So hey, do you have a few quick minutes to talk? Some won't call you back or message you back. Some you'll probably get people that'll say, no, I really don't. And some will say, oh, absolutely. The ones that say absolutely, you're going to be calling them back, because obviously if you text them, you got their phone number, you'll be calling them pretty prompt. The ones that say no, not really, say, hey, I understand life is busy sometimes, so what would be a good time later on this evening that we can talk? And more than likely, just a scenario, when you ask them that question, they might come back, well, what you got? And you're thinking, well, first, just a few minutes ago, you said, no, I don't have a few minutes to talk, but now you're asking me questions. And so when they say, well, what you got? You just simply say something to this effect is what I would always come back with when they say, when they would ask me what you got. I really think that what I have found, I really believe that what I have found can absolutely impact and change your life. I really believe that what I have found can impact and change your life. However, I have someone else that wanted me to get back in touch with them immediately. I have someone else I need to get back in touch with right now. What's a better time this evening that we can talk? So the reason I'm saying it like this, because first when they say, no, I don't really have a whole lot of time right now, and then you ask for some time later, and then they say, well, what you got? They do have time. They're just not really wanting to actually get on the phone call with you. And your goal is to really get on the phone call with somebody, because I feel that people don't know your heart through texting. They don't know your passion through texting, but they'll be able to feel your heart and your passion on the phone. When you're actually communicating with another human being directly, voice to voice, they can feel your enthusiasm, your excitement, your passion about what you're doing. So that's why, to me, it's always more important to get people on the phone. I love to work that way among any other way other than just texting back and forth. So my goal is always to get them on the phone so I can talk to them. So let's say it's the easy one to say, absolutely, I got a few minutes. Great. I'll call you in just a sec. And so you call them, and ring, ring, and they answer the phone. Hey, and the conversation is really very simple, because you want them to talk. You want to be the one asking questions. Remember, questions are the answers always. No matter what you're doing when you engage with people, questions are the answers. The more questions you can ask and have them talk, you'll learn so much about people and how you can direct the flow of the conversation to best serve them. Okay, so when you do call them, you say, "Hey, Lisa, I got a question I want to ask you, but first let me catch up. Last time we were talking, or last time we visited, or last time I seen something going on in social media, this was going on in your life, that was going on in your life, or the kids were playing ball, or so and so was getting married." You wanna definitely know something that was common to you and them last time you engaged. That way you can catch up real quick. You're showing true, genuine interest in what's going on in their life. And then once you catch up, just for a couple of minutes, you don't want to make it a 30-minute phone call. Just for a couple of minutes, once you catch up, and say, Lisa, the reason I want to talk to you is I found something I really believe that can greatly enhance and impact your life. Have you ever heard of, boom, you ask them that question. You want to ask them a question and let them talk. Have you ever heard of this, or have you ever heard of that? This doesn't pertain to any particular business, any particular company, any particular product, because you can use this for any business. And the reason we're trained this way is because we know here pretty soon that people are going to be inviting folks from different companies, different backgrounds, and we want to keep these as generic as possible, so this training can enhance anybody, anywhere, to grow their teams. So once you catch up with them, I'll reiterate that one more time. Once you catch up with them, hey, Lisa, the reason I was calling was that I want to find out, have you ever heard of, you can say, whatever, this weight loss product, or that nutritional supplement, or this service company, or this crypto thing, or that crypto, whatever. You know, you can fit in for your particular business how that question would be, I guess, presented. So one more time, Michelle, the reason I called, the reason for me wanting to get together with you was I want to find out, have you ever heard of, boom, and you want to let them talk. And if they say, no, I never have, well, girl, the reason, this is why I'm calling, to let you know, to educate you on what's going on in that industry, what's been happening, you just want to give them some information about that point. And then you simply ask them, once you give them some information, this is for the person who says, no, I've never heard of that. 9 times out of 10, they probably have. So you're going to very rarely get the no. That's why I'm covering that one first. You're going to give them a little information about it. And then tell them, I'll tell you what, I actually have a quick 2.5, 3 minute, 5 minute video, whatever it is you have, because every company's got their little intro video. And I'd love to get your opinion on how it's put together. So with your permission, I'll go ahead and shoot you that information now. Is that okay? And so you get their permission, you shoot them information, and before you get off the phone, remember, the idea is about following up with them. So you're going to set up a time at that point to follow up with them, to get them back on a call to find out what they like best about what they've seen. And generally, if it's a 2 or 3, 5 minute video, I'll do it right there. I'll get them the information, I'll get them the video, and let's say it's we're talking at 8:45. I'll say, look, it's 5 minutes long. I'm gonna call you back at 8:50. I'm gonna call you back in 5 minutes. Because you want to find out, number one, if they can watch it now, and if they can't watch it now, you're going to schedule a time when you can get back with them so when they can watch it. Here's why. Anybody ever received a link? Somebody you agreed to watch or whatever, and they send you their link, right? And you don't do it now. It could be the next day or 2 days or 3 days later before you actually even watch the information that they sent you. I know I have, because life gets in the way. So you never really want to give them the information about what you're calling them about until they can watch it. If they can't watch it now, schedule a time later on in the evening to do so. But let's say they can watch it now. They watch it, you call them back in 5 minutes. The question is, Michelle, what did you like best about the video? What did you like best about what you just seen? What part were you mostly intrigued about? What did you like best? And here's the thing. More than likely, 9 times out of 10, whatever they liked about the video is going to be almost identical to something that you liked about the video. As far as I'm concerned, no matter what it is they like, I'm probably liked it too, because I like my company, right? I like everything about my company. I like everything about what it does for the people, right? And so when you're presenting this to someone from a product standpoint or a business standpoint, whatever it is, whatever they like about the video, more than likely you're going to like it also. And so my response is, you know what, Michelle? I thought the same way about that too. I really, really enjoyed that. So let me ask you this, based upon what you've seen so far, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you have absolutely no interest in what you just seen, 10 being, you know, you're ready to go ahead and partner with us. Where do you see yourself on that scale? And you know, no matter what unless they say a 10, because a 10 means you're signing them up, they're partnering with you, they're going to get your product, they can start enjoying the benefits of the products. But if they're on a 6 or a 7, hey, you know what? I know exactly how you feel. You know, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever they are besides a 1 or a 10. 1 means they're done, they're not interested at all. 10 means they're ready to go. So no matter where they're at in this scale, if they're not a 1 or a 10, you know what, Kira? I know exactly how you feel, because a lot of people felt the same way. And generally, this is the feel, felt, found. If you've never used feel, felt, found before, this is a very, very cool thing to know about and to learn. I know exactly how you feel, because a lot of people felt exactly the same way that you did, that you do after watching the video. And here's what they found. And well, here's what I found, was that it was just a matter of answering a couple of questions and getting those things settled in their mind, and they were ready to go ahead and get started. So where do you see yourself on that scale? Well, they already answered that, right? 6 or 7. Once we get your questions answered, will that be all it takes to move you to a 10 to go ahead and get you ready to get started? You want to ask that question. Where do you see yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being I have absolutely no interest. 10 means you're ready to partner with us. Where do you see yourself? Oh, you know what, Keith? I think I'm probably about a 6 or a 7. Well, Kira, you know what? Most of the people I talk to, when they say they're anywhere on that scale, we have found out that that is generally because they got a few unanswered questions. That's what they've seen. So I'd love to go ahead and get those answered for you and get you moved to 10, get you started. How's that sound? And so you just want to move them in that direction and get those questions answered. Okay. So that's for the person that can watch it now, because you want to do that, number one. So let me kind of back up and recap. Text 5 changed lives. Hey, do you have a few quick minutes to talk? Yes, I do, or no, I don't. Okay, I'm gonna teach you what to do with the people who never message you back in just a minute. But the ones who say yes, I do, you're calling them right now. You're having that conversation. Hey, hey, Christine. There's a reason I wanted to talk to you, but let's go ahead and catch up for a minute. Catch up real quick, see how things have been going, and then after you catch up, Christine, the reason I want to talk to you, have you ever heard of this, or are you familiar with this, or whatever it is in your business, in your industry that you're working with? Have you ever heard the benefits of this, or have you ever heard how this is doing this for people, or exactly? And so you want to ask that question and let them talk. And once they answer you, right, more than likely it's going to be a good interaction. Very seldom you get people that definitely want to talk to you. Very seldom are you going to get any type of negative response. It's always usually going to be positive. At least my experience, based upon the way I come off, it's usually a very positive experience with the people. And so once they tell me what they've heard about and what they know about it, whatever, I agree, absolutely. Those are some of the key things that I found really fascinating. I said, also, once I watched this little 3 or 4 minute video they sent me, it answered a lot of questions for me. Do you have 5 minutes now to take a look at that? And if they do, great, send the video. If not, you're going to set that appointment for later, right? Usually it's because they might be at a lunch hour fixing to go back to work, or if they're a stay-at-home mom or whatever, they might be already take the kids somewhere. We have lives going on. People have lives going on. So you just got to be flexible with the approach. And let's say they could watch it later. Christine says, I could watch it later. I say, well, great, Christine. Would something around 7 this evening work, or would 7:30 be better? That I can go ahead and reach back out to you and get you that video, and just nail down a time. And if she says, you know what, tonight's probably not going to be good, and say no problem at all. And this is why your pen and your paper is good, because if you still can't get her to watch the video tonight at 7 or 7:30, whatever, Say, no problem. I do have some time available tomorrow, which whatever day that is. Would this time tomorrow be good, or would the next time be better? 3 times to set the appointment. If it doesn't work on the third time, say, Christine, hey, I completely understand life gets in the way a lot of times. Everybody's busy. You got things going on. This may not be a perfect fit for you right now. So how about if in about 4 or 5 months I check back with you, see if things change. I do that a lot. I don't try to chase people or beg people or drag them to things. I simply want to make an offer. Always keep this in mind. You just want to make an offer for them if they're open to what the benefits of your product can accomplish, or if they're open to creating any additional revenue stream. You just make an offer. Don't fall in love with the result. Just fall in love with the process. Okay, and the process is texting 5 people a day, seeing what your results are. How many people are going to say, no, I don't have time now, that you're going to try to set something later? Or yes, I can listen to it now. Or yes, call me now. And you have that conversation with them. Okay? Now, for the people that you text and they never reply, what do you do with that? 5 times, 5 days in a row, I suggest you put them on your text list. So the next day, you're going to do 5 different names, but you're going to add the people that did not message you back or say anything. Not to bug them. That's not the intention. The intention is perhaps they got a busy feed and it just got, because that happens to me a lot. I'll be hooked up in something. I get a bunch of text messages and life gets in the way and I may not check them. I may just completely forget about it. So anybody who don't answer, you just put them on to the next day and do that for 5 days. If you don't answer for 5 days, that's probably a sign that you've done all you can do, and don't try to push the issue. Just let it go and move on. Try to approach it with an abundance mentality, y'all, and not from a scarcity mentality. Meaning that, like I said a while ago, you're not worried about the outcome. You're falling in love with the process. An abundance mentality is someone who falls in love with the process, don't really care about the outcome. You're just doing the numbers. And then at some point in time, you're going to begin to get some positive traction, some good results. A ratio is going to appear. And here's the thing about once a ratio appears. And what I mean by that, you might text 10 before you get one that's actually interested in what you're offering, the products or the opportunity. It might take 20 before you get one that's interested. But don't worry about that, because once a ratio appears, it tends to continue. Because if at first you text 10 and get one, then you'll find you'll text 10 more and get another one. You'll find you'll text 10 more and get another one. Then what's going to happen is you're going to get really good at your conversation. And that's really what it's all about. It's all about engaging in conversation with people to better your skill set at presenting the opportunity. And then you'll find now you're doing 10 and getting 2, then 10 and getting 3. It's not that you're delivering, the message is different, it's that you're just getting better and more confident and more professional at what you're presenting. And people feel that. When you're confident and you come from a position of strength and position of confidence, people feel that in your voice, in your mannerisms, in how you present, and that helps them feel a whole lot more at ease with what you're talking about. Think about animals. I mean, do animals, and I'm not saying humans are animals, but do animals sense when we're nervous or when we're calm? Do they have that ability to tell if we're afraid or if we're not afraid? Most animals I come across, if I portray fear, then that kind of puts them in an attack mode, so to speak. They can sense when you have fear, and people can sense when you're not confident about what you're talking about, or when you're not, you don't have that belief in your company or in your product or whatever. So practice this, start off, and I would love to hear the results, and there's one more key to this that I'll tell you real quick, that I'll be open to helping anybody here with, no matter what company you're building. A third-party validation call I'm always open to that. Okay. And all that means is when you're actually on the phone with them and you're following up after they've watched the video and they've got questions, remember this on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you see yourself? 1 being I have no interest, 10 being I'm ready to get started with these products so I can feel the amazement in my body, or get started with this opportunity so I can create that extra revenue stream. If they're not 1 or a 10, they're in that middle. And then so you're going to find out what questions can get answered to get them to a 10. They may ask you a question that you may or may not know the answer to. And you know what that's a perfect opportunity for? A third-party validation call. Absolutely. You say, you know what, Joni? That's a great question. Hold on 1 second. You're not asking their permission to get them on a third-party validation call. I never do. When they ask me, and even if I might know the answer, I might say, hey, that's a great question, because third-party validation is so strong. You know what, Joni? That's a great question. Hold on 1 second. On these little iPhones, when you're making a phone call, they got the ability to put a call on hold, and you can dial another number. And when Damon answers the phone, I can hit the other button, and it'll merge calls. And so now Damon's on the line live, and I'll say, hey, Joni, you had asked that question, kind of went like this. That's a great question. What I did was I got my partner Damon on the other line. Damon is really an expert in that particular field. He's doing some great things in the industry and in the company. I thought it'd be great for you to meet Damon, and he can help answer that question. So Damon, are you on the line? And Damon will say, absolutely. Damon, this is Joni, Damon. Damon, see if you can help get Joni's question in. And so we'll do something like that, and I encourage you to use a third-party validation as often as you can, because it just enhances your growth. Okay. All right. So that is Text 5 Change Lives. If anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute your line, and we'll take questions for about 10 minutes, and then we'll close the training.
Hey, Keith.
Hey, David.
Hey, I have a question. It's not so. Like, I have this person that keeps like sending me a link, like I don't know, like it's spam, but like now it's like a challenge for them. I delete them and block them. Stop, son. And it's for Ray-Ban sunglasses. And so like I send them. I always tell them, I was like, dude, I'm never gonna buy from you because you're not like, this is not right. You're just sending me stuff. And so I don't know how to get rid of them, but I'm like, that's not the thing to do, because now I'm upset about it. Now it's just every time he does it, I just block his other number. Yeah. But I mean, he's very persistent. I mean, like 15 times. I'm like, how do you have?
Don't be that guy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, I don't know how they're doing it, but I mean, it's just like.
Blocking them?
Go ahead, Damon.
I was just going to say, are you blocking them, David, on Facebook, or are you just blocking their messages?
Well, it's through my text. I'm just blocking I'm just blocking the number that's coming in.
And so then they come up with a different phone number to send you a message from?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I would, do you know who that is? You know the person personally?
No, not at all.
Oh.
Yeah, not that I know of. I mean.
That's why Facebook, I know Keith mentioned, Keith, you don't mind me talking for 1 or 2 minutes?
No, absolutely. I know
Keith mentioned at the beginning of the training about how he loves to use the text, on the phone, the text service, at least 5 people a day. And it's very powerful because everybody's carrying their phone all the time. And but also on the same token, Facebook Messenger is on your phone all the time as well. And so I do text messages like what Keith's saying, but it's probably about, I would say, 1/100th of what I do on Facebook. And so what you're kind of to relate to what you're saying is, if I have most of my conversations on Facebook Messenger, if somebody were to start sending me spam, because that's just total spam, if you don't give them permission to send you that Ray-Ban advertisement, it's spam. And so if it's on Facebook, it's real easy to block them. And that would be, after 1 or 2 times, and you talk to the person, you have a conversation with that person, you say, look, this is getting real annoying. And I'll give you an example. When I get messages like that on Facebook, on Messenger, where somebody just sends me a link, because it happens all the time, what I do is I use that as an opportunity to educate somebody. I don't get all mad at first. I just say, hey, if I were you, I wouldn't be sending out messages, or even better yet, I ask people, does this work for you? I say, when you send people messages like that, do you actually get results? And some people will say, well, I'm just getting started, or yes, it does. And that's when it's an opportunity for me to say, have a conversation and say, well, let me just share with you something. Okay, I'm one of the top leaders in my company. I recruit thousands and thousands of people, and I never, ever send anybody a message with an advertisement for anything unless I built a relationship and created a conversation around that relationship first. And then I'll get into, it's kind of annoying when people send me these messages when I didn't ask for that Ray-Ban advertisement. But you use that first opportunity to reverse engineer, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, whoa, hold on a second, this person's actually pretty smart, and that makes sense. Maybe I should follow them. You might have just created a new follower. You have this guy spamming you, and all of a sudden he's following you, learning from you, and all of a sudden he's buying products from you instead. So,
Right.
But it's hard on text because with the phone, you can block phone numbers or whatever. But you might want to just call the person and have a conversation with them. If they're texting you, you ought to be able to call them, unless they're just shooting out text messages from a text service where there's no phone on the other line, which happens often. But I would personally try to call them, David, and say, hey, this is getting real annoying, and I'm going to have to report you if it keeps going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. And also, I was going to remember when I first started, I talked about you can use texting or Facebook Messenger. And the technique with Messenger that I like to use is real similar, because you're gonna send a message through Facebook Messenger, and it's gonna be the same one. Hey, do you have a few quick minutes to talk on Messenger? Okay. I don't like to engage in a messaging back and forth. The cool thing with Messenger is you could actually voice record your voice. That's another way that they can hear your heart and hear your passion. So you can use Messenger the same way. If you don't have their phone number to call them, you can still use Messenger to do the process. But I encourage you to use the voice recording or even video recording. One of those two, voices or video, doesn't matter. But the whole intent is so that person that you're engaging with can know that you are a human, you're passionate about what you have, and you feel very confident in its ability to solve a problem that they may have. So that's the whole intent about getting them on the phone, because this typing back and forth, people don't really get it that way. They misread your intent. They misread you. They don't feel your heart, and it just don't work. So it can be used on Messenger. You just have to make sure you use a voice recording or actually video recording when you're talking to them. Okay, does that make sense?
All right, I have a question if no one else is.
The questions are free. Answers are $25 for you, Lisa.
If that's okay, send it to me in Bitcoin. I'll be fine.
But you're paying me.
Of course.
So we're all MC8 people, MC8 warriors. And I'm noticing, like, religiously every Sunday or whatever, the same people that are interested in growing this are getting on. And if we're all passionate about our product, are we going to focus on making the recruitment process, perfecting that, or will we ever go into talking about the products more? Because if so, we can't invite other people from other companies, because I don't believe what some of them are doing. But
we're probably not going to do product education on this warrior training. It's really for process, motivation, and mindset more than anything. Yeah, product training is done outside of this venue. If there's any type of product training that you feel that you particularly need, that's what the Carpe Diem chat. No, we can do that inside the Carpe Diem chat. I don't mind product training in that venue. So by all means, the MC8 Team Carpe Diem chat, right? For those that are on our particular team. Now beyond that, not everyone in this particular warrior group here is in associated there. So perhaps we should consider a different venue for product training.
Because let me tell you what Charles said. I wrote it down. It was unbelievable. Like I had to keep stopping and verbatim. I copied every single thing he said about bioavailability and bioactive, the difference of it all. Because the way he worded it, like a long time ago when he said microencapsulated, there's certain things with each product that hits, and I notice I use it when I'm talking to people because I ask them, what part of your body, what hurts you, and all that stuff. And then he finally said something yesterday that I haven't heard in 6 months, and it was it's upstairs in the notes, but it was so profound that I was like, wow, that'll hit people. Like your mind's like a fireworks going through, when you're looking for something to use as opposed to the receptors. He was saying something about it. It was just a process. That's why I didn't know which way we were going to go with this group.
Yeah, this training is really for process, motivation, and mindset from what Kent's original design was. So that's we're going to keep it that way. And I'll definitely would be open to discussing outside of this training, proposed venues that we can for product training and stuff like that. We can set up something separate. If you guys and gals all here want to come together and we can figure out a way to do that, Christine, Quinn, Joni, anybody here has some suggestions. Jennifer, Damon, David. Before I'm finished, I'm gonna say everybody's name. I promise.
I mean, is there things that you guys can share with us from Mastermind that you went to? I don't know if it was in Texas, maybe.
In San Diego.
It was San Diego is the most recent one, but before that, I think there was one in Texas with the football player, possibly.
No, that wasn't in Texas. That was San Diego.
That was San Diego? Okay.
Let me throw something in there, Lisa, and it's really awesome to hear your voice and see your beautiful face again. Can't wait to hug you again. You're awesome. And I miss you. So I think it's awesome that Kent and Keith created this warrior training group. It's really amazing. One thing you guys have noticed, Keith mentioned it before whoever it was just a second ago mentioned MC8. We haven't mentioned the company name or the specific product name once in this video, once in this Zoom, up until somebody came out and said MC8. That's something we're practicing that we want to teach you guys to do, to be generic, okay? Even with making posts on Facebook, when you're talking to people, you don't want to be an advertisement, a billboard for your company, right? And so not only for the reason that we're going to be bringing in, inviting other people from other companies to come look at what we're doing, but for the reason that you just don't want to be a billboard. You don't want to be a big advertisement for your products. And so kind of what you're saying, what you're replying to, Lisa, with that is we can be experts and learn all about the products and the terminology and bioactivity and all that stuff, and that's great. But even better yet, if we keep it really short and simple, especially at the very beginning, because we don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, right? So keeping it really simple at the very, very beginning when you're meeting somebody, whether it's in a Facebook conversation, a text message, a face-to-face conversation, keeping it short and simple without all that technical jargon is much better. And you're going to get much better results if you don't, project vomit all over them and be like, yeah, bioactivity and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And so that turns people away and repels them most of the time. You got to save that technical conversation for later, okay? When people are actually using the products, when they're really, or if you have somebody that's really analytical or in the medical field, right? Like Christine Zorn, I was just going to, before you raise your hand, Christine, I was going to say your name. That's really funny. ESP, right? ESP. So, extrasensory perception. So all I'm saying is that don't get really overwhelmed with having to know all that product information. Most people that do really well in these businesses don't know half of it. They don't know 3/4 of it. They just know that they're excited, they're passionate, they're enthusiastic, and they know the products work. They know the system works.
Yep.
So if you keep it really simple and short, and Keith, I hope you don't mind, just because I'm going to do a plug because we all are MC8 here, right? As of now, if we bring other people in from other companies next week or the couple weeks after, whatever, we want to keep it generic. We don't want to mention the Club 8. We don't want to mention the MC8. We don't want to mention the products. We really don't even want to mention CBD. So curiosity, right? Creating curiosity. Everybody's going to hear all excitement and passion and all this amazing training, and they're going to come back to us and be like, what in the heck products or what company are you guys even talking about? I need to know more, right? That's the ultimate goal at the very beginning of the conversation. Create curiosity, intrigue, passion and excitement, enthusiasm, right? And so this new group that we created, here's the plug, okay? The new group that we created, hopefully all of you are in it. Is everybody in it? If you're not in it, maybe raise your hand or say something if you're not in the new MC8 Marketplace.
Yeah.
MC8 Marketplace, is everybody in it? Is there anybody that's not in it? And if you're not in it, just reach out to Keith or myself or any of us, we can add you in. The whole purpose of that is to keep it simple at the beginning. It's before somebody signs up. It's before somebody buys products or after. But to be able to keep it real simple and exciting and short and say, you know, like what Keith was just explaining to us, I love the text 5 change lives. That's great. Message, if it's me, I'm messaging 25 to 50 to 75 people a day. And so on Messenger and on text, the combination of both, you keep it short and simple, but you're excited and you're passionate, and you're not saying the company name, you're not saying the products, but you are going to say, there's this amazing new welcome video that you have to check out. And you let them watch that video, and you follow up like he said, and you say, what did you like most about it? And then what's going to evolve, what's going to happen is over the next, okay, I'll be up in a minute, son. What's going to happen in the next few weeks is that we're going to have new products, a new look, a new name, all this stuff, right? And so we're going to have to create another video to serve the same purpose, but over time it's going to evolve into more informative, right? And so that video and that group is going to do the heavy lifting for us. So you don't have to know all, not everybody can learn bioactivity. Not everybody's going to learn, you know, what CBD molecules do. Not everybody's going to learn that right away. It's going to be tough for some people. What's great about it is you don't need to know all that. All you need to know is how to invite somebody to take a look at this amazing welcome video. Okay? That's it. And if you can let that video do the heavy lifting, then it's really easy to follow up with them afterwards and say, what did you like most about it? And then go off of what Keith just shared with us and taught us about how to follow up and get an answer, get a decision, right? So you can move on to the next person. Show urgency, you know, show a sense of urgency. I'm busy. I got lots of people to help. I'd love to talk to you. When's a good time? If you're too busy right now, when can we schedule a time to talk? When will you have 6 minutes to watch this amazing video? But none of that has to do with teaching them about bioactivity. None of that. We're going to give you guys tons and tons of information over the next few weeks. And there's going to be literature, and there's going to be videos, and it's going to be all that stuff, the product information, for the people like Christine and myself and Lisa that want to know, like, everything. I want to be so knowledgeable about this that when the smartest of the smartest person comes to me and asks me these questions, I could just be like, blah, 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 blah. And if I don't have the answer, you know, hold on a second, let me get Charles Vest on the call, because if you don't know who Charles Vest is, he's been on NBC, CBN, or whatever, blah, 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 for years, and he's one of the foremost leaders in the CBD movement, right?
Right.
So you see what I'm saying? That's really what it's about. So
exactly, and this is why it's important, the teaching and the trainings that Charles and Kent did on the colors of the personality, is because there's certain personality types that you start talking about microencapsulation and liposome delivery systems and all these details, they're out. They're not interested in all that stuff, you know. So that's why you have to have that knowledge base, but also understand people, understand the personality type, so you can cater your presentation to that. When I was talking in the training about, you know, every company has a 2, 3, 4, 5 minute video that you get them to. In our case, since we're bringing Club 8 up, in our case, it is the ATM group, the MC8 Marketplace, that we send the people to, okay? And then you use the rest of the process to follow up. Of course, the add, tag, and message concept you'll use inside the marketplace when you add them to the group, you tag them, and then the message to them is, hey, hey, Quinn, this is that message. You and Jennifer are playing around. I see y'all.
Focus.
You say, hey, Quinn, this is the video that I was talking about. Go ahead and watch it, and we're gonna follow. I'll get back with you at 3 o'clock, like we discussed, to find out what you like best about the video. And so you set that appointment, you set that expectation that they're going to be getting that call back. And so that's the video you're using since you're with Club 8. Okay, the teaching was generic for that purpose, to make it available for any company's reps to use the training. So good points, Naaman. Appreciate you stepping in for sure.
Yeah, just one more quick thing on that too. I'll just take one more minute. That whole ATM system, that whole group that we're using, I encourage every one of you, Lisa, every one of you guys to use that versus going out and try to be, real smart with everybody and know all this stuff, because it's a system that's been proven to work and create amazing, amazing results for other people, other businesses. And so we're literally using the blueprint. And if you use it properly, if you use that system properly, if you get permission and you invite them properly and they check out the video and you follow up and you introduce them to a third party and edify that third party and get the close, you're doing everything. You're doing all the steps properly, right? And you're going to get a lot more people to sign up. You're going to get a lot more people to buy products. Okay, a lot more. And so we're going to see sales go through the roof when we launch all this new stuff, especially if we use this new system. So real quick, I've been doing Zoom meetings to train people. Keith was on one of them yesterday. Quinn was on both of them yesterday. And so you guys need to get on those ATM trainings, because there's a lot of little details to it that if you just pay attention, if you watch and follow and listen to those little details and do it step by step by step, like Keith said, every time you message more and more people, 10 people a day, your conversation is going to get more confident. Your posture, I think that's the word you're looking for, the posture is going to become more confident. People are going to be like, I got to pay attention to this guy. So make sure that you guys get on the Zoom. I'm not sure what time. It'll probably be right after Keith's morning Zoom. And so I'll wait till he gets done with his Zoom, and then I'm going to put a link out midday tomorrow. So if you guys want to jump on that Zoom, and we'll get more into the trainings, we're probably going to do 1 or 2 of those ATM trainings every day for the rest of this week, for this whole next week. So that way everybody's trained properly on how to use that. Because again, if you use the group properly and you use the techniques properly, you're going to see amazing results. And it's going to take a lot of the heavy lifting off of your back. That's the whole idea. It's going to make it a lot easier for you to use those steps. So Keith, thanks for letting me jump in. And you did an awesome training. And I took a whole page of notes. And yeah, you're a rock star, man. I love you.
Hey, love you too, man. Love everyone here. Thank y'all for joining in. I hope y'all got some value. And
Christine Zorns has her hand raised.
One quick question.
David, you had that one recorded, didn't you? I know Joni's saying that she works during the day and she hasn't been able to get. Do you have a couple of them recorded so that they can catch up?
Yeah, I recorded the second one, so I'll shoot that over to Joni. I'll shoot it over to you as well, Christine. And if any of you guys that want it, that haven't seen it, or if you want to share it with your team, just send me a private message, and I'll send you the link to the recorded version from yesterday afternoon.
And second part, Lisa, you wanting to know like more particulars about products and stuff? Seriously, even though in my mind I want to know all the bits and pieces, keeping it simple and just understanding simple things like terrapins and how those blends are focused to do things like what the name on the bottle says, can be so powerful. Just knowing that if you even Google just some of the ingredients that are in our bottles, you'll see that they are like the #1 thing for your brain or for relaxation or whatever, and that boosts your confidence. You don't have to be a scientist. You don't have to be go completely overboard, but understanding that the blend and the terrapins and things are what's helping everything do exactly what you're looking for it to do.
Right. And there's a certain group of people in my circle of friends that as they are taking the product, they're starting to ask more questions. So I do go into the details because I talk to them about the endocannabinoid system and the receptors and all that stuff, but
and then use that as your learning curve then, honey. As far as, what they're asking you, go find out and use it as your learning curve, as you're building up so that you understand it completely. And that's an awesome way to take it in.
That's why I was asking if Keith and them were going to talk about it more. I wasn't
Just-
sure.
You will.
Yeah, we will definitely, and like I'd always tell you that, and anybody else here, I'm always available for a one-on-one conversation. Anybody, I'm always open to helping, get questions answered, education on products. I don't have a nursing background. I'm not quite as smart as Christine, but I do know a little bit about some of the products. And
You know
Damon
a lot.
actually knows. Damon knows a lot
That was
of
a lot.
So the reason why we haven't put a lot of that information out there is exactly that reason. We don't want everybody to feel like they're overwhelmed and there's tons of information they have to learn. You know what? The people that have the most success in these type of businesses are the ones that keep it so simple, and they learn how to. You guys, if y'all were on the call yesterday with Charles, pique people's interest, right? If you can get them excited and about your energy and excitement and passion, well, you don't need to know anything. You could. I don't like using that word "fake it till you make it." I like using the phrase "make it until you make it." So like what he's saying, you make it until you make it. And so if you get somebody in your circle that needs to know all those technical, you say, I'm learning as I go. All I know is this stuff works amazing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you on the phone with Damon. He knows a lot about terpenes. He knows a lot about, the microencapsulation, blah, 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 blah. And, he's one of the top leaders in our industry, in the movement. And you're going to be blown away when you hear what he has to say. How would you like to get on a phone call with him?
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Right. I think what my fault is in this is that because I am detail oriented and this is the first.
It's not about you though. It's about them.
Right, exactly. This is the first company that has ever expressed that to us with the color thing. Because in my mind, I'm so detailed that I'm assuming that everybody else wants to be.
That's
And
right.
some people are like, no, stop, enough.
So, yeah, the identity training is huge. Like Keith said, it's huge. And I've learned that from Charles. I'm still figuring it all out. Like I can't pick a green, red, yellow, blue person out right off. It takes me a little longer. But instinctively, I'm catching on to certain things that they do and habits that they portray that can, like, oh yeah, this person's a green, right? Or green, blue, or whatever. But before all that, before having to try to figure everybody's identity out and know how to talk to them, the reason why we made that video, if you listen and look at that video, it's about attracting more people to us like us. Not these real analytical, money-making, get-rich-quick, opportunity, biz-op. It's about, oh, this is a really cool, lovey-dovey, family-feeling, great vibe, right? That's who we want to attract to us. We really don't. So sorry. Is it loud? Shut that door. Okay. So make sure that you're not just don't try to over pour it on people. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just, again, if they're analytical, take a quick second just to stop yourself and say, I got to get this person on the phone with Damon. And then do the edification like I was talking about.
Yeah, definitely always edify. It's so easy for analyticals to fire hose to make people feel like they're drinking water through a fire hose because throw it out there. And look, and
Guilty.
Look, one perfect example. When I first got out of the Air Force, I got into the automobile business as a salesman and in car sales. And it was my first, I was selling advertisements on fishing maps before that, but I consider it my first real sales job. And the guy who was top knew, and it killed me because I had to get in these books. I had to learn product knowledge. I was learning about all the different makes, the different models that Nissan made, the Maxima, the Sentra, the this and the trucks, and I was learning everything about every detail, engine size and the transmissions and all that stuff. And the number one sales guy, somebody asked him a question, and I heard the question. I don't remember what it was today. He says, I have no idea, but I'm gonna tell you what, it's probably gonna be one of the strongest, more powerful pulling trucks you've ever driven. Something crazy off the wall, but you know what? You know why he was a top salesman every month? Enthusiasm! He was excited and he was fired up every day, and people bought from him because of that. Not because of what he knew, but because how excited he was. And so just bring enthusiasm to the game. It'll kick it up.
And you'll learn all the other stuff as you go in.
Hey, Keith.
I'm excited. I'm just a little worn down today.
Hey, Keith, I have one more question.
Okay.
So I had a guy, hold on. Hey, stop him. I had a guy, friend request me. So I looked at his friend request and I saw that he was doing crypto. So I went ahead and accepted his friend request, right? So we had a conversation on Messenger and everything, and I sort of told him what I was doing, what he was doing. So then the very next day, I get like 2 or 3 of my friends contacting me like, hey, and I thought I had all that stuff hidden through Facebook, but I don't know if they can see it on Messenger. And so I fired him off a deal, and I was like, dude, that's not even not. I said, what are you doing? Like sending people in my deal stuff. I said, that's not cool. And so I was wondering how y'all handle that. So, because I want to friend request people that are in other companies, but like,
You need to
I don't want them.
set your friends list that only you can see them, no matter who your friends are. Your friends can't see your other friends.
Okay.
You set that security like that. Because there are.
Yeah, but they can still see the messages. They can still see the comments on your feed. If they look at your feed, any friends who make a comment, they can see them. So that's the downside. They figure out a way no matter what. The people who are scammers like that are gonna figure out a way, and that's how they find them.
That's right. And the best way to do is just block them.
Blocking tool.
Yeah, block them. As soon as they start doing that, like if somebody were to call me and say, yeah, so-and-so, that you are friends with has been messaging me about this and that and blockchain and blah, 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 I'd reach out to them. I wouldn't really even give them a chance. I would just say, hey, like friends of mine are telling me that you're spamming them. I got to block you. Don't do it again. Block.
Right. Okay,
and
cool.
when you block them, they can't reach your friends at all.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I defriended him, and I don't know if they blocked him, but I defriended him.
We went an hour. I was hoping to keep it 30 minutes, but we got some good content, I believe. I think we had a really good training. So y'all have a great night, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Later.